So we've just arrived at this afternoon's house that we're photographing. It's a lovely cottage, very rural, and there's nothing around for miles. And then we've got the hills over there, but we're faced with some quite tricky sunshine to shoot into, which is a nice problem to have because it's been so miserable lately. But the weather, yeah, the sun is popping in and out of clouds, which might help me, it might hinder me, I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm just waiting for the vendor actually. So as soon as they turn up and let me in, then we can really get cracking. But I think there's going to be some amazing views from over there to the Malverns, which are over the back. So yeah, very impressed with this property so far. It looks rather lovely. It's been a tough one here, trying to get the exposure right, because we've got crazy sunshine coming in, and sometimes it's a case of just ducking in, you know, getting that photo when the sun goes in, and sometimes it's a case of having to work with the bright sunshine, shooting at f/22 with a full flash power, and having a sun star in the photo, which looks quite creative, which I'm still not quite sure. Will my estate agent like it? But it's an option that I'm going to have to give them because I've got no other choice. Because we have to show the view. It's a huge part of this house is its location and its situation and the view. So I have to show the view. Anyway, let's take the externals and let's see if that sun goes in a bit, which I think it is. Right, let's get back home and let's see what we've got, and hopefully, let's hope and pray that what we've got is good enough that we won't have to make the trip to come back. So we had a delivery earlier. Laura's left the heavy stuff for me, but she's put the fun stuff around the back. Yes! There it is. We bought a tree. Doesn't look like much at the moment, but when we get that in the ground, really hopeful that that's going to blossom into a huge, great big pink cherry blossom, and that will really put us in a great mood for spring, because we've just had some bad news. So if we put it right here, I think we're going to have a really gorgeous spring garden to put us in the mood. Look at this. I saved you these nuts in case you were hungry when you got back from work. Wow. What a woman. What a woman my wife is. If only I could marry her this year. Let's talk about that. So we've just heard the Prime Minister's making an announcement to the nation tonight. And he's outlined his roadmap for getting us out of lockdown to Parliament today. So it's all over the news already. And again, it's still, when it comes to our wedding, which is supposed to be in April, it's still unclear. I haven't been on the government website yet, but what we'll wait to do, we'll speak to our wedding venue manager and we'll liaise with them, because we don't want to have to cancel again. I'm so sad for Laura, if I'm being honest. Obviously, I would love to get married. I really am really excited about it. But I think every girl from being young dreams of a white wedding and, you know, seeing all those smiling faces as she walks down the aisle. And we're not going to get that. Not this year anyway. And I'm so gutted for Laura, because nobody deserves it more than her. So that is really, really sad. Now, what we are going to have to do is probably get creative. A bit like we did last year, but maybe on a more official capacity. Because last year, if you haven't seen it, we did a fake wedding day in our back garden, doing what we could do with our 1 hour of exercise a day and all that from lockdown 1. So if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it up here or in the description. I'd love you to check that out after this video, because it's really, really proud of that. It's like a mini film, and we need to get creative and we need to think about what we're going to do. But at the end of the day, it's a marriage not a wedding that is the most important thing. And I'm sure you guys will probably agree with that. Mixed messages, I'm hearing loads of text messages are flying here, there and everywhere saying weddings are banned, or you can have up to 6 people. Oh no, maybe you could have 15 or 30 people. So yeah, absolutely gutting at the moment if we can't get married again, which it doesn't look like we will be able to. So also, you guys know that I've been daily vlogging during February. I haven't uploaded for the last 3 or 4 days. I've been ill. I got struck down with a migraine. Never had one before, and damn, did it take me off my feet. It was miserable, if I'm being honest. I literally did nothing for 3 or 4 days. If I'd have done a vlog, this would have been it. It would have been as interesting as this. That wall probably would have been about the level of interesting of what I got up to this weekend. So that's why I didn't vlog, and I've stopped feeling like I need to vlog, he says when he's daily vlogging. But the old me probably just would have said, yeah, I know I'm ill. Let's make myself even more ill by making a YouTube video. So I didn't do that. I made myself get better, and I feel a lot better now. Hence, here we are. So almost made it to the end of February, vlogging every day. I think I did 19 in a row, which I'm quite pleased with. But yeah, let's do some work. And yeah, let's talk about how work went. So yeah, let's talk about how work went. It was tricky. It was a hard gig today. I'm sending these photos over to the agent, and I will obviously say, look, this is a very tricky house to photograph, because if I'd have photographed early morning when the sun would have been on the front of the house and not in the back of the view of the Malvern Hills, I would have got a big shadow from these 2 big oak trees across the front elevation. If it would have been overcast, that probably would have been the best case scenario, because at least I could have put a blue sky in, but then again I might have lost some visibility of the hills. It's tricky. Property photography ain't easy. I think a lot of people will go into property and think, oh, well, I need to earn a bit of money, so I could probably do that. How hard can it be? But it really does take years of practice, really, to work out how... It's not even what looks good, it's how to second guess what your agents will like. It's not even sometimes a case of getting creative, it's just it's coming up with a consistent style of work that you know that your agents will be happy with, and all you can do is your best. Like, for example, today I was shooting with the sun in the lounge, with the sun coming right in through the lounge, and I must have waited for about 5 minutes. When you're on your own with nothing to do, that's quite a long time, and the cloud just didn't come over. The sun just didn't go behind a cloud. And so I just had to get creative. So what I did was I filled the room with flash. I used full power, and I stopped the aperture down to f/22, and I used a Sunstar effect. And I really like that, and I'm really looking forward to some feedback from my agent, because that's something that I never do. But that way, I managed to get the view in, I managed to get the blue sky in, I managed to get the outside exposure and the inside exposure, which are 2 things that you're constantly trying to marry up. Don't talk to me about getting married. You have to constantly expose for the outside, expose for the inside. Personally, I use flash. A lot of people will use bracketing. I use bracketing outside on when I'm shooting into the sun, or when the exposure is difficult. When I'm inside, 99.9% of the time, I will use flash, because I can control the light inside and the ambient light outside by stopping the aperture down to about f/22, f/16 usually works. There are times when that doesn't work, and that's the times when you need to think outside the box, and how are you going to get around that problem. But yes, my top tip, or my top observation about property photography, you're thinking of getting into it, is really learn how to control the inside exposure versus the outside exposure, because you don't want to be giving out blown out windows all the time, because if there's a view out there, that is a big part of the asking price of the house. That is a big selling point. And if you're just blowing it out because you're shooting everything exposing for the shadows, then everything outside is going to be blown out. So you can't do that. So you've got to think of a way to get around it. Maybe in a future video I'll show you how I do that with flash. It's not an easy process. There's no formula, but yeah, maybe I'll just have to show you that in a different video. So that's the end of this video. I'm glad to be back doing some videos. I'm feeling a lot better. Well, I was until about 4 o'clock this afternoon when I heard the news about them getting married. But that actually is going to be okay. We've got a way that we think we can get around it. Don't want to go into that. I'll talk about that now. And also what was announced was in a few weeks' time, the stay home state changes to stay local. So I'm interpreting that to mean that I can get back at the Malvern Hills. So really looking forward to being able to give you guys some content from the top of the Malverns. I've missed the Malverns so much, and I can't wait to get up there for spring. Hopefully we'll be able to get some really nice spring-like stuff from the top of the Malverns. But as for now, thanks for watching today's video. Hope you're staying safe. Hope you're well wherever you are in the world. I'll see you on the next video, whatever that will be about. See you soon.
Since I've seen the sun could be bright again.